I bid you welcome to The Agenda. My name is Abiodun Famojuro. In today's episode, we shall be having two unique and distinguished gentlemen talking to us about the subject of voter apathy. It was not easy getting my voter's card. The turbulence and the challenges that I went through has discouraged me from voting. Is that your story? Is that your song? My vote will not count. My vote does not matter. Is that what you are saying concerning the elections that is about to take place in your country? Are you ready to vote, believing that your vote will make a difference? I am joined live from outside the studio by a young man, Adetunji David Ajala, a trained leader from the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg. He has worked with USAID and NDI. He has done a lot of projects on vote, not fight. He's joining us live from the city of Osogbo in Osun State, also known as State of Osun. Mr. Adetunji, you are very much welcome to The Agenda. It's great to have you with us. Live in the studio with me is a person that is not a stranger to our engagements, a man that I admire very much in his passion for the nation called Nigeria, Femi Oyewunmi. Welcome.
It's good to be back again. Thank you so much.
It's always a delight to have you both. Now, let's get into it. Voter apathy. I started with a short narrative that many people are very much aware of. I'm going to be starting with you, Mr. Ajala. And this is a very instructive question. What are the root causes of voter apathy, and how can we address them? How can we stop them from becoming a recurring subject in our democratic process?
Thank you very much, and I'm so delighted to be here once again. Yeah, if we want to talk about this very sincerely, we cannot forget history. And since the democracies have started in Nigeria, we have seen a whole lot of things and a lot of factors that is responsible for us to be witnessing what we call voter apathy. And sincerely yours, if we will not lie to ourselves, there are numerous causes of voter apathy. And but before we talk about the root cause, it's important for people at home to understand what voter apathy is all about. It's just basically, lack of interest in their political activities, meetings, or affairs, or things that has to do with having a representative democracy. So, and when people lack that zeal and the vision and the ability to be part of something, that means there is something that is responsible. And that is why I will go to that you can't rule it out from one, the lack of orientation of our people. How many Nigerians, how many people know what their right is and what their right is not? How many people know their role, their civic responsibility as a citizen of this country? How many people know what is expected of them to take this nation to another height? How many people know, even from their, from the foundation, when they are still in the, primary school, is it part of the curriculum whereby people are taught the rights, the civic rights and responsibility? These are the narratives that we cannot rule out if we say what is the cause of the high rate of voter apathy that we witnessed. So apart from that, can we rule out the injustice that we witness? And injustice is one of the key elements of what we call voter apathy and the political gladiators narrative. So these are among many other root causes of voter apathy I can mention, I can tell you.
So you're talking about injustice. You're talking about a failure of orientation. You're talking about not starting early with the communication of what being a representative democratic process is all about as the root causes. But the question is this: what is the solution? It is not enough that we identify what the challenges are. It is much more important that we identify the solution and we prefer it. Mr. Oyewunmi, what are your recommendations? How do we address these challenges? Mr. Ajala has highlighted for us injustice. a lack of orientation, lack of communication, lack of inculcating the democratic element into our educational curriculum. How do we address this?
Thank you very much. What I've also witnessed is that you have so many educated people but politically ignorant. I would want to take the solution to stir people's hearts by thinking of the implication of our inaction. Because most time people think that not getting involved is a good decision to stay away from it. But if you are taking that decision, it has its own, implications. So what it means is that we won't be able to elect a representative that speaks people's opinion. For example, if you are not interested in me and I assume the power, automatically I'm not accountable to you. That's the order of the day of what is going on right now. I mean, you are not part of my story in getting into office. I'm no longer the officer for you. I'm only the officer for the people who are interested in me. What is my recommendation? You need to think of this country as a country that has to do with life and death. We are all going through what we are going through today because of our inactions of electing the right set of people into offices. If we stay away from doing this, we are going to suffer more. So the implication is that we need to take what belongs to us. Going out there to do our civil, right, is our responsibility as a citizen. You must be part of this business. You want to see a change in this country, you must be passionate to go through it. What do you think the political gladiators are doing today? They make the process so complex so that they have little entrances into this. They make the political, arena, electoral process very expensive so that you can't come into it. You must do all you can. Not just getting the voters card, because what I've seen is there are high numbers of people who are getting registered, but we see decline in the people who are actually voting. And INEC on the other part, I was reading one of the statistics that says that in 2019, we spent 189 billion for that election. This year, now we are going back to the polls, it's interesting to know that there has been 58% increase on that. 305 billion
is what it's going to cost us.
Yes, going to cost us to go into
to conduct elections.
Yes, and then you still see the reduction of people, numbers of people are going there. Resources are going into this. People,
but fewer participation.
Absolutely. It doesn't make sense because the number needs to speak.
Mr. Oyewunmi, Mr. Ajala, either one of you can chip in this. Is the current political system designed to discourage voter engagement? Is the current political system designed to discourage? I said in my introductory narrative how difficult it is. People want to get voters card. They go through challenging, torturous, humiliating situations. When they want to collect their voters card, the system it seems it is rigged. It seems, note my word, emphasis on rigged, against them. So where is the encouragement here?
Let me start, and I would like him to do an addendum to that, because I keep asking this question. When you want to change a system, you don't go and just jump into the system. If you are not strategic about the system, then you are not going to have so much result. What do we need to do? The current process we have is designed to discourage you. Heavily designed to discourage. Let me give you an example. If you want to pick your ATM card or you want to renew your ATM card, you walk into a bank, in 10 minutes, you are given that ATM card. But when you want to process your voter's card, it takes about minimum of a year to get it ready for you. And they make you go through that tough time. Recently, I was asking one of my friends that have been asking, go and pick your voter's card. He got to the polling unit. He was asked which candidate is he going to vote for. Before they could attend to him, either he's going to pick up that card or not. The politics doesn't start when we go to the poll to actually do that on that day. Who is asking the question? Why do I need voter's card to be able to vote? You've captured all of the information. The face recognition is there. My ID, my fingerprint is there. Who is challenging INEC on the process from day one? We have so many solutions, technological solutions that is happening today. Who is asking the right question? Day one to say, do we need this voter's card, physical voter's card in the first place? Why are we not already on the platform where we can vote online? Why are we not on the platform where the diaspora Nigerians can actually vote? Those are the places where we need to Get other voices involved. And I'm going to challenge a lot of civil society people here. I'm going to challenge individual citizens, because the highest office in Nigeria is the office of the citizen. We need to ask the right question. We don't come into election day and begin to fight the system. We need to be very strategic.
And intentional.
Right from day one, we must engage these people. We must take INEC from day one to go through that. I mean, I'm a certified lean signal process person.
Expert.
I can see the gap in each of the steps, and it's deliberate, because the current people who are in there now does not want new entrances into that.
How do we correct the mindset? There's a voter apathy. My vote will not count. That I vote, that we all voted in a ward, somehow the result, the reflection of the result is not a reflection of our voting. How do we correct this impression?
So I want to ask people who are still living in that darkness to say that if your vote doesn't count, why do politicians pay
to buy your vote?
To buy your vote if it doesn't count.
Why do they try to induce you?
The truth is, in a simple terms, for every citizen that cares to listen to me, this politics we are playing is a game of numbers. Whoever carries the numbers wins the game. Now, if you, I was pointing out the other time the role of strategic way of fighting the system, of correcting the system. Let me show you something. I was reading the analysis, and every involvement of people, despite that in Africa in 2019, we were the lowest turnout. We had lowest turnout, 34% of registered voters card.
As a nation?
As a nation in Africa. Despite our numbers, only 34% participated in 2019 election. I mean, people won their vote at the federal constituencies and legislative constituencies with about 4,000 votes. In a nation of over 200 million people. Absolutely. It's unbelievable. And where am I going? People focus on the presidential. We've seen involvement at the presidency level, federal level. We've seen involvement at the gubernatorial. But the change we are looking for sits from that grassroots. And when you go into the legislature, you find low involvement. I mean, you can find out a graduate who doesn't know the name of his counselor. You find out a graduate who doesn't know who is his House of Assembly in his own locality. And that's where the change will come from.
His House of Assembly representation.
Absolutely. Because the strategic change we are looking for, you need people to change this process. It has to go through law. It has to go through the rule of law. Do you understand what I'm saying? It has to go through this rule of law. Who are the people that are going to change this? Who are the people that are going to do it? You need to go back. How do we act strategically? Young people we have 16 million people who have added to that volunteers. What do they need to do? Go and look forward to the person, the right person as a counselor. Look for the right person as House of Assembly. Do you know that if we flood the House of Assembly, we are going to challenge the governor? Don't even go for the governorship. Focus on the grassroots. Focus on how we can elect good people into those offices. And by the time they are calling for a meeting, sir, in my locality, and we are talking about 700 of us, elected, executive elected, then these guys are going to listen to us.
Mr. Ajala, we want to find out from you in response to the subject matter at hand of voter apathy. What will be your contribution or your engagement at this point? While Mr. Ajala is putting his thoughts together, I want to say this. Your voice will be heard when you decide to speak. If you are silent, everything around you will be silent with you. If you believe that you have nothing to offer, then the cosmos, the world, the society around you will acknowledge that you truly have nothing to offer. This is still the agenda. We are in a season where we're talking about matters that pertains to the democratic process of a nation called Nigeria. Don't go away. Stay with us. Welcome. It is still the agenda, and I'm with Adetunji Ajala and Femi Oyewunmi. We are discussing the subject of voter apathy. Before we left on a short break, it was a question. Will my voice be heard? And how can I get full representation in the political process? Adetunji Ajala, will my voice be heard?
Your voice will be heard, but it's based on conditions. And let me state this categorically, that the system is better than the way it was before.
The system is better than the way it was.
The Electoral Act amendment that was signed. Yes, it was better than if you look at the time of the INEC chairman and the INEC chairman, you know how the system was that time compared to what we have now. So you can tell me the introductions of the technology has helped us, except we want to lie to ourselves. And of course, the politicians will always find way around, manipulating the system. And the citizen, when they are not pro social media, I'm talking about being rugged, going to the community and let these people know. The truth of the matter is that many people believe that politics in Nigeria is local. I was saying something that 3 days ago, I went to Popular Market myself. I was doing awareness. I was telling people what to expect and what to do and how to as to many of those that are yet to collect their voters card, that they should go out and collect their voters card. It surprised me that the responses I got from this market women and even so-called youths, I was shocked because it seems that many of them are not even interested. Don't forget the fact that I made mention about injustice. And of recent, there was, of course, proof otherwise because the case is still in the court from people is that will our vote stick card, it will be, rubbish. So until we try as much as possible, our judiciary system, until we get it right from there, until citizen also has the right, information that has to do with the electoral system and the democracy, then we are still joking. And let me also say this thing. It is good for us to say, okay, we have good people. But when you see many good people who are less interested, they are much more interested in their business than the way they are interested in the governance.
In the political system.
Tell me, a lot of people are doing well. A lot of people, we have many airlines who are less interested. They've forgotten that no matter the policy that was put in place, it's going to affect a whole lot of us. So it is not about talking and speaking English alone. We have to localize this awareness and sensitization. We have to go to the school because what formed the mentality and the psychology of a child from the primary school, that is what such children will be going on with. Let me also shock you.
Let me say something. Thank you so much, Mr. Ajala. I need to say something with regards to reducing the influence of special interest in politics and promoting accountability. Mr. Ajala, as he mentions fundamentally, he said a couple of things. INEC has improved.
I agree.
They're doing much better, and we must give them their flowers for the improvement. But he maintains a fundamental, that is, there are too many people in Nigeria, too many persons who should be interested in who the elected representatives are, who are just not interested. Corporate executives, boardroom gurus, titans, people on the educated graduates, the postgraduate student who somewhat just doesn't care. And in this space, when nature abhors a vacuum, where there is a space, special interest will grow in the place of politics and reduce the place of accountability. What do you say?
I mean, I've been an advocate of, trying to preach the involvement of young people in governance. I've said to my friends, if you don't get involved, soon enough, those guys will be done, they will choose their maid, and they will still rule over you. I love what
Mr. Ajala
said to us in terms of creating an awareness to those local people to know the implication. Because sometimes our people don't know the implication of what they are doing by not showing interest in what belongs to every one of us. If there's an announcement tomorrow that we are not all going out, we are going nowhere. The truth is that the kind of change we require for in Nigeria, we require an expert from the technology. See the innovation of the beavers that was finally signed into law. That's just a starting point. Like I was mentioning to you about the card of a thing. Do you know there are many solutions that young people can, sell to us to be able to reduce the complex process that's involved
of obtaining your PVC?
I'm challenging the bank MDs. I'm challenging experts in different fields, that it's time to really get involved to help us from where we are, the current situation where we are. If you don't get their involvement, we will not see the change we desire. It's not a game of, oh, I don't want my name, because what happens is everybody don't want to appear as a politician. So when you say you're a politician, people just lose interest in you immediately. The truth is that power belongs to every one of us. And if you want to see that change, it goes more than the people who are currently there. We need the future, and that's the young people that needs to come on board. It doesn't matter the current process we are. Strategically, we need to start getting involved. Start from your locality, start from your community, and start getting involved. The day I showed up at my own ward meeting, they knew somebody new is around. There's a new sheriff in town, and they begin to ask questions. Where have you been? I said, I just moved over here, and I'm interested. I've come to join you guys, and that's the truth. The light needs to come to darkness before the darkness is taken away. If you don't find the light with darkness, you won't see the light.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oyewunmi. Mr. Ajala, I'm going to be taking the final word from you. We're dealing with voter apathy. And I want you to speak to Nigerians and to the global community. The subject matter of representative participation is declining globally, where persons are getting into elective office with a minority. So the minority is becoming the majority. You've said it before now, but I want you to give a parting shot. You're speaking to people all over the world, not just Nigerians here, to let them understand that your role is critical. What do you have to say as your parting shot?
This time, imagine if everybody did not raise their voice to the electoral act that was signed by the president. Imagine what will happen to us. So this is not a time to keep quiet. It is a time to act and not say my vote will not count. Your vote will definitely count. It's different from what it used to be before. Now, the era of voting, snatching ballot boxes have changed, and you must be a responsible citizen of this country. You must contribute your quota to the nation building. And how will you do this? You must not be discouraged. You must encourage others to do what is expected of them, most especially as we go to the general election in 2023. And that is my admonitions to you. We can all make this country a better country if you and I do our own little bits. Not less talk and action. Less talk, but more acting. Act. If you act and another person take responsibility and not just talking, then we can be better off than the way we are. Thank you.
I'll take Mr. Oyewunmi's parting shot, and very much so, we will take it from there as we round off on this session. Mr. Oyewunmi.
I want you to know that it's an act of irresponsibility when you stay away from your civil right. One of the things, the least thing you can do is to lend your voice and show action by going to the polls these very few weeks that we are entering into. Don't let these people discourage you. The future belongs to us. It's not future in future. The future has started today. So you must wake up to the reality that the number counts. We must have the ability to be able to change. If we elect someone into office and they underperform, this is our opportunity to send them back to their homes and put the right people in offices. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Femi Oyewunmi. Wherever you are joining us, it is still the agenda. As we sign off for today, please note this very important fact. Your vote counts. Stop the voter apathy. Your voice matters. Whoever you choose to lead you in the next couple of years will determine the quality of life, will determine the quality of your passport, will determine the quality of your citizenship. Connect with us on all our various social media platforms as displayed on the screen. I remain committed to a true Nigeria. My name is Abiodun Famujuro, and this has been a production of The Agenda. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.